On Primetime Asia tonight, a week since Typhoon Haiyan tore into the Philippines and only a fraction of the survivors are getting the aid they need.
And conflicting estimates as well over the official death toll, which is still expected to go up even further.
Providing power to victims of the typhoon, how one hotel in a storm-hit city is helping survivors stay in touch with their loved ones. And in Sri Lanka, Commonwealth leaders meet as a row rumbles on over the country's human rights record. Hello, I'm Glenda Chong and you're watching this Friday edition of Primetime Asia. We still have our eye on the Philippines, where relief operations are finally moving up a notch as ships and planes from all over the world converge on the country. But President Benigno Aquino is under pressure to address the slow pace of aid efforts for the past 7 days. According to a Reuters news report citing government figures, only 3% of the 1.7 million families affected have had any form of distributed food for the first 6 days. And there's also been some confusion and bickering over the official death toll. Well, let's go over to Timothy, who is in Manila right now, for more on that. Tim?
Well, Glenda, this came after international media saw a notice board in Tacloban City Hall putting the deaths at about 4,000 in that city alone. That is double from the day before. Later on, Tacloban Mayor Alfred Romualdez apologized and said the toll was for the whole of the Central Philippines. The United Nations then started reporting a number that was also way higher than the official count. And as it turns out, different agencies have different body counts. The Red Cross does its own. Different cities and municipalities also do their own counting. But now the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council says only its tally will be considered official because those numbers are all verified by name, town, province, and a method of dying, and their website will be updated regularly. Now, as for President Benigno Aquino, he is feeling the heat. He is under pressure over the slow pace of relief efforts. And Mr. Aquino visited several places in Manila on Friday to oversee relief efforts. Today's appearance is a rare one for the president, who has avoided the media spotlight from both Manila and the affected areas since the crisis began. The president's spokesman says this is so as to stretch local officials will not be distracted from their work. Meanwhile, some survivors are starting to pick up the pieces of their lives as well. Take a look here in badly hit city of Guian. The process of clearing up debris and litter in the streets have also started. Residents queuing up for hours to use a free phone provided by volunteers due to power and communication in the city still remaining down.
We are waiting for a call because we are calling our family that from other country because they are not aware what's happening to us here in our place.
Well, Cebu was also hit by the typhoon, of course, but such was the destruction of the other areas of Cebu that anywhere else would be better option for survivors of the storm. The Philippine Navy has also begun transporting people out of Tacloban and other storm-hit areas. And for more on that, let's join our reporter there, Jack Broad. Jack?
Hi, Tim. Yeah, I'm standing at the moment in Dinago Sports Complex. It's one of the makeshift evacuation centres that have been set up in the aftermath of the typhoon. We're right in the middle of Cebu City, and behind me you might be able to see it's about 200 evacuees who have arrived from Tacloban over the past few days. Some of them arrived today on a naval ship. They made a 22-hour journey across the ocean. Some people have come through on C-130s over the past few days. Treacherous journeys, but now they're here in relative comfort. They have food, they have water, there are doctors here on hand if they need any medical assistance. A lot of donated items for them to use. Haiyanas, in fact, have donated people flip-flops. So just one of the novel items to help people along the way. We see children playing, children underneath blankets, smiles on a lot of people's faces. Obviously, there is some uncertainty. They've left loved ones behind. But here, at least their minds are off the absolute turmoil that they've experienced over the past week. I actually have with me two of the typhoon survivors from Tacloban, Elma and Emma. can bring them in now and have a chat about some of their experiences. They've been separated for 3 days. Elma has just arrived today on the boat. Emma came on the boat 3 days ago, didn't know where each other were. Let's speak to them now. Guys, thanks for your time. Tell me, how was it in Tacloban before you were able to make it here?
It's very hard before we arrive here. People are making chaos. There's no food, everything. I don't know. I'm very shocked because they really need help. They really need help. I don't know what to say.
And Emma, you've been here for a couple of days. How relieved were you to be able to come to an evacuation centre and find food and water?
Coming from a place wherein the place very devastated, it's very heartwarming to see that the people here are so welcoming. They all welcome us with a very warm heart, and they really took care of us, of all the people here. We would like to thank the city of Cebu and all the people who tried to help us here in Tinago, to Captain Joel Garganera and his sister. They're very kind. They really helped the people here, and we're very thankful. But we also would like to appeal for help for all the people in Region 8. It's Summer and Leyte. They really need help.
They really need help. They really need help. All the people in Region 8, please help them. The coastal area of Samar and the coastal area of Leyte, please help them. They really need your help. They really need food and shelter. I don't know.
Elma, tell me about the boat journey that you've made with your family. 22 hours. How was it on board?
It's very hard because we've been separated. We have no food there, only limited, and some water. Almost of the people there is very hungry.
Even according to my son, he fainted because of thirst and no food. They were very hungry, and they've been on the airport for 3 days, 2 days and 3 nights, waiting for an opportunity to be able to come here, but they have.
Okay, Emma and Elma, thank you very much for your time. I'm glad you've made it to safety. We appreciate your time here.
Appeal to the whole country.
Absolutely. Appeals for aid, obviously ongoing, Tim. We were at the naval base today. That's when this vessel arrived. Take a look at our experience over the past few hours.
These are the survivors, the most vulnerable people whisked out of harm's way. A Herculean effort from the Philippines Navy on a mission that's only just begun.
Behind me, thousands of people are pouring off this Navy vessel. They're the first wave that are coming from the disaster-ravaged areas of Tacloban. They're being brought to Cebu City, where they'll go to evacuation centres. We're seeing a large number of children, elderly people, people needing medical help, some people being brought on stretchers. And here behind us, there are tents set up to give people immediate food, to give them water and any medicine they require. It's a government effort to try and get people out of the dangerous areas and into a safer area here in the city.
They tell us they are the lucky ones. All of them have left friends and family behind. They don't know when they'll see their loved ones again. Despite a 22-hour sea journey in tight confines with few toilet facilities, families say it's nothing compared to the hardships being experienced throughout Leyte province.
As of now, sir, buti nakalikas kami doon kasi medyo mahirap na din yung kalagayan namin. Kasi mukhang mabagal yung dumating na mga relief. So yung mga tao doon parang nagpapanik na. Lalo na may mga false na balita na lumalabas na mga preso na nakalabas. Yun yung talaga yung at saka yung mga NBA issue. Yun yung nag-push sa amin na makaalis kaagad ng Tacloban.
Ayaw kita ito mahadlok, ayaw lang. Para hindi namin yung mga yung nagransak doon, karamihan hindi doon sa amin, sa Tacloban. Saka yung marami na doon inaakyat na bahay na may pinatay tapos re-rape na mga nakatira doon sa bahay.
Yung iba, naiwan. Kasi inuuna lang namin yung mga bata. Mahirap kasi doon, tsaka mabaho na dahil sa mga patay.
Ambulances met dozens of the most critically ill, and more treatment will be delivered in makeshift field clinics now being set up. For the thousands of displaced survivors, as always, logistical issues remain. Those with relatives in the area will be left in their care. For those who don't, evacuation centres have been established throughout Cebu province.
In the evacuation center, we will have them sleep and of course rest, a change of clothes, bathe and food. And for those who have loved ones waiting for them, they can get in touch with them. We will facilitate.
We would want the evacuees to feel that this is Cebu and they will be being taken care of, and any problem or anything of their concern will be addressed by the city.
Relief may still be on its way to more Tacloban residents. The Philippines Navy saying these evacuations will continue over the coming days.
We are expecting more evacuees from Tacloban or Samar since the government had already ordered a mass evacuation, sir.
While people are getting out, aid is slowly getting in. Charity organisation World Vision has begun aid distribution in North Cebu and is also starting to make progress elsewhere.
It's a great relief when you think it took us 7 days from the typhoon to actually reach these areas. People would say, why so long? The truth is it's an archipelago. The geography of islands and of roads that are damaged made it really hard.
While frustrations and delays still exist, finally, for devastated communities, there are clear signs that help is on its way.
These people, if they have loved ones, in order for them to start all over again and rebuild their lives, we will be sending them where there's somebody waiting to take care of them.
Jack Board, Channel News Asia, Cebu.
All right, Jack, thank you very much for that. Jack Board there live with us in Cebu. Now, more aid is expected to be on the way as well. And standing by in Tacloban with us tonight is Channel News Asia's Christine Ong. Christine, it's been a week now since the storm hit. Have you seen any relief there in Tacloban?
You're right, Tim. It's been a week since Super Typhoon Haiyan hit the latest Central Philippines, and I'm right here now in Tacloban, which is one of the worst hit provinces here in the Central Philippines. And beside me is Vice Mayor Jerry Sambo Yaucasin, and he will update us on what's happening now here in Tacloban. So, Vice Mayor, can you tell us, is aid finally getting into Tacloban, and how many people now in Tacloban is finally getting aid?
By this time, we have been distributing already the relief goods, but it's still far from ideal. We have reached more than almost more than 70% of the total population. So we will continue this. So there is three things that we're doing now: the distribution of relief goods, the recovering of dead bodies, as well as we're clearing operations. So those are the three priorities that we have right now, and we have slowly been doing that.
What's the main priority right now, Vice Mayor? We have seen the scale and magnitude of the devastation here in Tacloban City. We know that there's a lot of things that the government is now doing, but what's really the main priority right now? You were telling me a while ago that one of your main priority right now is, of course, a major concern, the dead bodies right now as well. Yes. Could you tell us more about it?
Yes. We have started to bury them. I think we have recovered more than almost 500 bodies. So we have prepared the mass grave already, and we have started burying them. And it's just too many. It's just too many. So I think it's going to take a few more days before we finally bury all the dead here in the city of Tacloban.
Good. Do you feel that you are getting enough help from the central government? There has been many criticisms, but you yourself, can you tell us, are you getting enough help and support from the central government?
We are getting help from the national government at this time, but with the magnitude of the super typhoon, there's just no way. Every hand will be needed, every warm body is needed. So with this scale, so we're getting it, but we feel if we get more, then we can still do more and be be faster in the delivery of relief goods, in making sure that we recover and retrieve all the bodies and bury all of them immediately, as well as to be able to do clearing operations. As you can see, there's still a lot to be done in this city, and it has been a week already, and yet there's still bodies buried under the rubbles. This relief good has not reached every victim, and the clearing operations, many streets are still impassable. So I think it will take another week before we will even have a sense of normalcy here.
Is that also the reason why, in the airport, we came from the airport and it's really chaotic there? A lot of people are trying to leave. Is this also the reason why many of the residents here are trying to leave Tacloban City?
I'm sure, that's one of the reasons. Number one, you don't have any store to buy food, even if you have money. There's no banks that have opened yet, no supermarkets, no hardware, no nothing here. And there's no electricity at this time. Water supply is so limited. So you have no choice at this time. I think it would be better for them to leave rather than live here. So I think that's what they've been doing. But I'm sure once everything is restored, power is restored, there's water, there's enough food, I think they will be coming back. So you see the sad stories of people crying, asking us to help, making sure that they will be able to leave the city. But we understand that. But at some point in time, we have to have people to be able to rebuild this city.
How long do you think it will take, Vice Mayor, to rebuild the city with the scale and magnitude such as Super Typhoon Haiyan? How long do you think it will take before everyone could finally recover? And it's almost nearing Christmas as well, right? Here. And this is really a special time for us Filipinos. So how long do you think it will take before people will finally recover?
I think it will take years. It will take years. There's no way you can build this city in one day or even in 1 year. I think some have estimated 5 or to 10 years to where we are now. We were just one airport away, one international airport away from being a tourist destination, from how our economy is booming. But with this Super Typhoon Haiyan, we're all back to zero. We're all back to zero. And definitely it will take years to rebuild the city.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor Jerry Samboyao-Casin. So I've been speaking with the Vice Mayor of Tacloban City, and as you can see, more help is really needed for the people, not only of Tacloban City, but for the rest of the Central Philippines. And hopefully, with the help that is pouring in, the people of Tacloban City and the people of the Central Philippines will finally be able to recover from the destruction of Super Typhoon Haiyan. Back to studio.
All right, Christine Ong there live with us in Tacloban City. Christine, of course, the first Channel News Asia reporter to get into that disaster area today. There have been stories about looting and some violence in areas of the Philippines that were badly hit by Typhoon Haiyan. But heartwarming stories have also emerged of human kindness and generosity. Channel News Asia's Stephen Clark with this report now from the port city of Ormoc, that is in western Leyte province.
On an assignment like this, there are always many unknowns. And on today's particular assignment, coming here to Ormoc, 2 of those unknowns were what are we going to eat and where are we going to sleep? Well, we came to this hotel and we met an amazing family who are indeed taking care of an entire community around the hotel, letting them charge their phones, use their Wi-Fi. It's an amazing story. Take a look. Pongos Hotel in the port city of Ormoc has become a beacon of assistance and refuge to the local community. The owners are allowing anyone who needs to recharge their mobile phones to use the hotel's electrical sockets. Invaluable at a time when communications are bad and people are desperately trying to get in touch with family members and loved ones.
The hotel is like, a refugee center right now, and the family is trying to help everybody as much as we can.
And the local community are very grateful for the chance to keep their phones running in the hope that they can indeed establish contact with their families.
And we are thankful for the management of this hotel that they offer free charging for people like us that actually we don't have electricity right now.
I was scared about all of the news that I'm hearing, but when I got here, this is the best place. You know, this is so much different from what's being reported. This is really the best place.
The thing is, just how long can Pongos Hotel maintain this generosity of spirit?
Until we run out of diesel or gasoline for the generators.
But for now, the family cooperative of owners are doing all they can to help their community. At a time when stories tend to emerge about looting and violence, a time when the world is preoccupied with international relief efforts, Pongos Hotel is a reminder that human spirit can lead to communities helping and supporting themselves at times of great distress. Just look at what they've done for us. This is one of the function rooms in the hotel, and they have brought in mattresses, pillows, blankets for us to take care of one of those unknowns that I mentioned at the beginning. Where are we going to sleep? Tonight, we know. This is Stephen Clark, Leyte Province, Philippines, for Channel News Asia.
Well, it is good to see that people are individuals doing their part to help out. That's all from me here in Manila. Back to you, Glenda.
All right, thanks very much, Tim. And our reporters are in the Philippines, bringing you reports from the ground. Timothy, obviously, in Manila. We have Christine on in Tacloban, the first to enter there. Jack Bort, he's in Cebu, and Stephen Clark in Ormoc, Leyte Province. And we will continue to bring you reports from the aftermath and relief efforts of Typhoon Haiyan. Well, still ahead here on Primetime Asia.